All right, he's a real treat every time we have him in studio because this man is definitely living proof of someone who is living a full life. He's an author, a speaker. His name is Kirk Nurmi, and his website is Nurmiunchained.com. It's nice to have you back on the show.
Great to be with you, Danielle.
We're going to talk about conquering cancer. You're a cancer survivor. I'm going through cancer right now. So I want to ask you, because you went the whole gamut, how did you actually redirect your life from the time you started with your cancer to now being cancer-free?
I think one of the first things I did was really allow myself to feel everything that I felt with cancer. A lot of people want to block it off. A lot of people want to reject it, and just to absorb what I was going through, to really to understand, to get a better grasp of it, instead of living in a bit of denial.
Yeah, because you don't want to be in denial. You're actually going through it. And you say that when you're not a cancer patient, you're a person living with cancer. Explain the difference and why people should take that approach to it.
I think that was so huge for me because it kept my life in perspective. Cancer didn't become so overwhelming. And being a bit of a public person, when I first got the diagnosis, I kept it private for the first 3 treatments. And then because I wanted people to treat me the same.
Right.
I wanted to be Kirk, not Kirk the cancer patient.
Absolutely.
So I kept it to myself until I realized that the treatments were working, and I wanted to share and hopefully inspire some people out there. But I kept it compartmentalized in my life and tried to do as much as I can outside of the chemo chair.
And you had a big transition in your life because you had stage 3 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, correct?
I did.
And that in itself just sounds almost like a death sentence when some people would hear that if they were diagnosed with that. But you also say this is not, just a fight of your life, but it's also the best time of your life.
Yeah, it can be, because I think one of the perspectives I had is, fight for your life is literally true.
Right.
But in the other sense, you're not immortal. You're going to pass sometime. So what you're really doing is fighting for more time.
More time.
And when you start thinking about wanting to have more time on the planet, you start thinking about why you want to have more time on the planet. And that's where that best time of your life comes in, because then there's a revitalization, a new direction. What do I want to do with my remaining time on the planet? And that's the question that became so powerful to me when I made the decision, because you're right, it can sound like a death sentence.
Correct.
When I made that decision to go into the chemo chair, I did it with a promise to myself that I wasn't going to live my remaining years the way I had my first 49 years.
Well, let's see, your life now has blossomed. I mean, you've been on several different talk shows, you're an author of 3 books. So how is your life now better going forward, and what did you learn that you're now taking into this new perspective of the going ahead?
I think my life is better. The perspective was real simple, just shifting the beacon which I follow in my life towards happiness. What makes me happy? What brings me joy? I talk about, when I talk on stage or various appearances, I talk about living with joyful urgency.
Right.
Realizing that my time on the planet isn't unlimited.
Right.
I need to enjoy what I have now. And I always use the mark that helps me get through tough times during the day is, if I was on my deathbed tomorrow, would I be worrying about what I'm worrying about today? Would it matter?
That's a good thing to think about.
98% of the time, it doesn't. To the viewers out there, I guarantee you, if you were on your deathbed, whatever you're worried about, the guy who cut you off in traffic or whatever, you wouldn't be worried about it on your deathbed, so don't worry about it now. Don't use your precious time doing negative, harmful things.
It's all about positivity, and he's living proof that a positive life can come out with a great positive result. I'm so happy you're cancer-free. Thanks for sharing your story with us and a little bit of information. I wish we had more time. You want to learn more about Kurt? It's Nurmiunchained.com. I advise you to go to his website. You'll see videos, a wealth of information, and just hire him as a speaker. He's a great man. Thanks again for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to talk to a fellow cancer warrior.